Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Forbes magazine had a very interesting piece because a lot of people might remember in their research, perhaps looking up, Doomsday, a lot of billionaires buying bunkers, doing their thing, trying to get ready for the apocalypse or whatever it is they're getting ready for. It could just, they may have information that we don't. We don't know. But one thing's for sure is they're buying up property. They're buying up these old missile silos and converting them into bunkers. They're building their own bunkers. It's an amazing amount of preparation for things that you, my friends that prepare, are openly and often vilified for. But here they are doing it, right? So Forbes magazine has this map. The
if you don't have a My Social
Doomsday
Security account online yet, open one now. Check your Social Security.
An amazing, catastrophic map of the United States where half of it's underwater. And I originally saw this a few years back and was blown away at just how much the change in the geography of just the United States, on this map. It's just an amazing transformation. I mean, unbelievable. Anyway, this is being highlighted in Forbes, which is mainstream. Things like this used to not even be discussed in a publication like Forbes magazine, right? Now, I mean, they are going full on like doomsday. Listen to this. It says, when I wrote my first article on billionaire bunkers years ago, I never would have imagined how quickly our world was changing. Our lives are in a constant state of flux. The political situation aside, our Earth is rapidly changing. Between the increase of bizarre weather patterns hitting the Earth and recent major volcanic activity, now more than ever, our focus is on the planet's future. In the early 1980s, spiritual visionaries and futurists provided clues to our changing planet. Often dismissed as crazy prophets, their thoughts for a new world were quickly ignored and even laughed at. Gordon Michael Scallion was a futurist, a teacher of consciousness studies and metaphysics, and a spiritual visionary. In the 1980s, he claimed to have had a spiritual awakening that helped him create very detailed maps of the world, all stemming from a cataclysmic pole shift. I've seen and heard a very compelling evidence of pole shift. One of my favorite channels on YouTube is Suspicious Observers. Every day he puts out space weather, and he's been monitoring the pole movement for a very long time now. Just like the sun has a pole reversal every 11 years, well, the Earth also goes through pole reversals. And right now, the poles are moving, and they're increasing speed, and they're moving. The South Pole's moving towards the equator. The North Pole's moving towards the equator. And it's inevitable the Earth also goes through pole reversals. And who knows how cataclysmic that's going to be. It may not be cataclysmic at all. But this guy is not the only guy. Scallion's not the only one that predicted that there'd be a pole shift. Another theorist and psychic, Edgar Cayce, predicted a 16 to 20 degree pole shift, while Scallion, he predicted a 20 to 45 degree pole shift. Cayce also predicted that when Mount Etna's volcano in Italy and Mount Pelée in Martinique erupt together, there will be approximately 90 days to evacuate the West Coast before the massive flood claims the coastline. Now, I'm going to stop there for a second because, I could go down the route and say, well, a comet or an asteroid collision. Of course, one big enough could certainly tip the Earth on its axis, I'm sure. But the thing that we have to understand more than anything else is that these visionaries, Edgar Cayce and Mr. Scallion, tap into something spiritual in order for them to be able to see this and do all these. It's a gift, a third eye, if you will. And the powers that shouldn't be also tap into this and utilize darkness and that side of thing, fear. Because out of fear, you can control. If they believe it and they know it, then we have to acknowledge at least there's some validity to what's being said here. Not only do we have the historical record and the magnetic record and the geological record that says, yes, this has happened before, but we also know that the powers that shouldn't be, those billionaires, also tap into this type of energy. And this is where I think they have knowledge that we don't, because people have been bamboozled to say, oh no, we came from a puddle of slime, nothing to see here. There's no spiritual realm. There's no God. There's no nothing like that, right? So just ignore that kind of stuff and just go about living your life and everything's fine. Look, you can do that. We all have free will. It's a wonderful thing. But if they recognize it and they're preparing for something like this, then wouldn't it be prudent to at least look into, what people are saying, like an Edgar Casey or a Scallion about this type of event, to see what it is that these billionaires are seeing that we're not. Because maybe it is out in the open, but we're just not seeing it. So just something to think about. But when Forbes magazine starts publishing the Doomsday map, then I have to think that there's absolutely some validity to it. How much? I don't know. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day, everybody.